The moon was a witness, cold and unkind. When they took the only piece of heaven I could find, it wasn't just a painting, wasn't just some ink and dye. It was the light in my spirit, the look in my eye.
They slipped through the shadows, they moved with the grace of a thief, leaving nothing but a void in its place. I woke to the emptiness, the silence so deep, while the rest of the world was buried in sleep. And the void started growing, a hole in my chest, a hunger for justice that wouldn't let me rest. They told me to wait, they told me to pray. Let the law handle it, is what they would say. Stay calm, they were whispering. Don't lose your mind, leave the anger and the chaos and the madness behind. But how can you stay calm when your soul is on loan? When you're sitting in a kingdom made of nothing but stone? I was pacing the floor, I was counting the beats, while the rhythm of my rage was walking the streets. I didn't want a process, I didn't want a plea. I wanted the vision that was stolen from me. So I waited for midnight, I waited for black. Once I stepped into the dark, there was no turning back. The alley was narrow, the air was ablaze. I was counting the price of the debt to be paid. I found the side entrance, the heavy steel door. I wasn't a victim of the theft anymore. A crack in the glass, a shim in the lock, the adrenaline hitting like a lightning shock. I stepped through the threshold, a ghost in the hall, where the shadows were dancing on the museum wall. The moonlight was filtered through the high vaulted ceiling, and the weight of the silence was a heavy duty feeling. I saw it in the center under spotlight and glare, the beauty they stole, the ghost of my prayer. My heart was a hammer, my breath was a flame, and the voices of the world were all calling my name.
Don't escalate, stay steady, keep it all cool. But they were just shadows, and I was the rule. I reached for the canvas, I reached for the gold, for the only true thing that I ever could hold. The rage hit my blood like a tidal wave surge, as the lines of my sanity started to merge.
I ripped it from the wall, felt the frame in my hand, like I was reclaiming my piece of the land. The sirens were wailing, a low, distant mourn, but I felt like a king on a reclaimed throne. I ran through the darkness, I ran through the fear, with the vision of my future finally crystal and clear. I wasn't just running, I was breaking the chain of the loss and the longing and the hollowed out pain. And now when the sun rises up in the east, the hunger in my spirit has finally ceased. The tables have turned and the shadows have fled. I'm living the life that was once in my head. The gold is in my pocket, the light is in my sight. I turned a desperate theft into a glorious fight. Everything I wanted, everything I craved is sitting right here from the path that I paved. The thief is a legend, the victim's a king. Listen to the song that the victories sing.
They taught me the rhythm of the strike and the slide, the way to find a weakness where the shadows reside. It started as a game, just a child in the dark, playing robber in the basement, looking for a spark. But the game wasn't play, it was a blueprint for war, learning how to preach and how to settle the score. They showed me the hinges, they showed me the frame, how to break into a life and leave nothing the same. The training was silent, the lessons were cold, building up a hunger that would never grow old. And they came the insult, the theft of the prize. The moment I saw the deceit in their eyes, they took what was mine, they thought they were clever, thinking a piece of my soul could last forever. But they didn't know the predator they had released, the monster that hunger and discipline feast. They told me to breathe, they told me to wait, don't let the anger decide your own fate. Stay calm and collected, keep your composure. But calm is for people with a peaceful exposure. I don't want peace, I want total command. I want to feel the power of the world in my hand. I stood at the threshold, the wood felt so thin, like the skin of a victim waiting to begin. I didn't use a key, I didn't knock on the wood, I did exactly what a rubber game said I should. I coiled my strength, I focused my hate, and I kicked through the door to decide on their fate. The sound was a thunder, a splintering crack, the scream of the timber as the word turned to black. The door didn't break, it surrendered to me, like a man falling down to a dark, jagged sea. I stepped through the wreckage, the dust in my throat, a king in the making of God in a coat. The lights were all flashing, the sirens were near, but I felt nothing but the absence of fear. I moved through the halls like a ghost through a grave, with nothing to lose and a soul left to save. I saw the masterpiece, the thing they had bled, the colours so vibrant, the life that they led. They held it so tightly, they guarded it well, but they were just prisoners in a beautiful hell. I reached for the canvas, I felt the silk clear, a beautiful carnage, a silent despair. I didn't care for the guards or the panic they felt, as the walls of their sanctuary started to melt. I was a storm in the room, I was a blade in the night, reclaiming my darkness, reclaiming my light. They shouted for order, they pleaded for grace, but I was just looking at a terrified face. To them it was chaos, to me it was art, the systematic tearing of a world apart. I walked through the exit with a prize in my grip, as the control of the universe started to slip. And now as I sit in a world fight one under the heat of a black dying sun, I see that the violence was the only true way to turn the midnight into my own kind of day. The gold in my coffers, the power I hold is the fruit of a story that's jagged and bold. I have everything now, infiltrate every grid zone from the terror and the violence sound. They want to be calm, they want to be tame, but they forgot that the robber is the heart of the game. I'm the master, the thief and the king. Listen to the hollow beautiful song that I sing.